okay, so we're talking about that show in which Pedro Pascal plays a stoic father and he's raising a troubled youth. So they pull up Disney Plus.
I'm sure he's not,
Yeah,
but it feels like he's just, like
everywhere.
walks off of Last of Us set and hops in a car and drives over
Goes
to them.
is the Mandalorian.
It's like, yeah.
He trades in the flannel for Beskar.
Welcome back to the Game With Us podcast, where we are discussing The Last of Us, Episode 7, Left Behind, based off of the DLC for the game. And I am joined by Eric and Aiden from Irrational Radio.
Hello.
My heart is stone. I can't cry anymore.
Oh, man.
I will say, I took very little notes on this episode, but one note that I did take was that I cried.
Right?
Oh, man. This is going to be one that I'm going to be okay. Yeah, this one, it was definitely very sad, but it didn't hit me as hard as some of the other episodes have, I guess.
Bill and Frank.
Yeah, definitely not as much as the Bill and Frank one.
I think that's less of it as being not as sad and more of just like we've seen so much shit at this point, like we kind of expect it, but it's still like
maybe that's what it was.
This episode is still like beautiful in its own way. I love.
Oh, absolutely.
I love what was it, HBO or whatever, calling calling Riley and Ellie best friends. I was like,
oof.
You can't see it, but I'm doing the eyes emoji right now. Like, totally. It's like, and they were roommates.
They were roommates.
Yeah, like jeez.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what got me, and this is jumping to the playing the DLC in the game always kind of chokes me up because you have Riley, whether it's 2 minutes or 2 days, I don't want to give that up, and it's interposed over Ellie and Joel, and in the show you have Ellie and Riley take each other's hand, and then they go to Joel and Ellie taking each other's hand, and the music's doing its thing, and she has this look on her face like, you are not dying on me, and I'm like, nope, I'm gone.
No, yeah.
So
there
good.
were moments for sure. That was a rough one. They still, like, every episode is gonna takes a heavy emotional toll, but maybe it's just getting used to it and then knowing where this kind of had to end, I guess, from the, maybe that softened some of the blow, but there were a lot of the little bits of the like date, I guess, that were like really well executed. Got that vibe of like two kids. I don't know. Yeah, as young love episode kind of.
What I always got from Left Behind and watching it, because obviously you have the Ellie, training to be a FEDRA soldier. Which, by the way, I loved her interaction with Captain Kwong, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was really refreshing to see a FEDRA officer who, honestly, probably seems like a decent human being.
Yeah.
All things considered. Sure, FEDRA's a terrible organization, but, they're like normal people working for the Empire in Star Wars, you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say.
To use another fictional thing.
His pitch is, you can be one of the people giving people orders. You can stand on top of the pile. But yeah, the like, you're so smart, you're stupid. The like, that whole potential talk there, that one actually was one of the moments that was like, oh God, I don't know. Yeah, that's not maybe a conversation everybody got growing up, but like, yeah, it was like,
Sent to the principal's office, got the talk.
I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
You could be, it's like, ugh.
I thought it was really interesting. Like, he told her, there's a leader in you. Like, he was able to see that in Ellie, but apparently didn't see the same in Riley. And I just thought that whatever is going on there was interesting.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure like what's at the root of that, but yeah, her whole, her assignment to be put on sewage duty was the kind of
Shitty.
inciting.
Yeah.
And it's shitty. But it's what, I mean, it seems like it's what sent her off to go, like, run away, essentially, and end up joining Firefly or whatever. But, yeah, so that, like, it's not like everybody who has potential is seen and gets their same chance, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there either, but...
I assume maybe Riley acted out more because, what was it, Bethany? She says, you don't fight, your friend fights.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe Riley's just more... She acts out more, I guess.
Which is crazy to think considering Ellie.
Yeah.
That was the cool dynamic between the two, is seeing Ellie as the, like, more
The
innocent
cooler head.
of the two, kind of. Well, like, not even just calmer, but like, because I don't think that's necessarily the case, but like more inexperienced in a lot, like not really knowing a bunch of stuff about the world that Riley knew, I guess. Like, yeah, it's just...
Which, speaking of Storm, I think her name is Storm.
Yeah.
I want to say. Her and Bella Ramsey's chemistry in this episode was incredible. They were hilarious.
That was great.
Just like Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie, and I forget the lady who played Riley in the game, but it was just like so great, and they're so just adorable. You know, like,
Yeah.
seeing. I think what this episode was trying to show, and I think the same thing was with Left Behind, is like you get to see these kids be kids, you know, like,
Yeah.
take goofy pictures, go to the arcade,
Yeah.
fall in love, you know, like stuff that kids should be doing, not training to be soldiers or making pipe bombs.
Hanging out in a mall. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a... Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing that will continue to be a standard kid activity as we go forward, but malls are kind of not that big of a thing anymore. But yeah, that was like a quintessential place to hang out. I don't know, yeah, when you didn't have anywhere else to be.
Listen, kids still go to malls, okay? We
I
still go to
know, I'm
malls.
just being an old man. I'm
God.
laughing. It's not halfway serious.
Goddamn millennials.
I tell you, no, that's... But the... So actually, before they get there, on the way there, they run into that dead body.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that whole interaction?
I thought that was really, like, you know...
Morbidly funny.
Well, you brought up how we get to see kids be kids, but right before they get there, they run into this dead body, and most people probably wouldn't go anywhere near that, but they're kind of fascinated by it and curious.
Yeah, especially since, like, I mean, the guy mixed pills with, I don't know if it was intentional, but it's implied that maybe he knew what he was doing. So the dude knew what he was doing, and they figured it all, and they're still, like, morbidly interested in, like, oh, is that actual alcohol?
Yeah.
And it made me realize, like, oh man, these poor kids. It's like they see a dead body of somebody who offed themselves, and they're like, oh, he's got alcohol.
Have you guys seen Stand By Me?
Stand By Me sounds familiar.
It's a coming of age story where a bunch of kids go to see a dead body.
Oh.
From like the 80s, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I got vibes of that movie there. It was like kids are not totally grasping it 100%, but Ellie was the one who like started the laughing thing. I think generally all of that, I agree with what you were saying. I was just like, it gave me Stand By Me vibes for some reason.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. It's classic. Someone out there?
I guess Cold War tensions really make you desensitized to death, huh?
Well, I mean, I think that's the like, yeah, it's like so many people die so regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ellie assumed that Riley was dead because she hadn't heard from her in like long enough, basically. So, it's a common occurrence, it seems like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, the production design of this episode, I imagine a good amount of it was probably like CG. Like that one long shot of them with the mall like hallway and seeing it all light up. It's just like it was so. It's I mean it's so depressing, but like so like oddly beautiful. And like I just love seeing like Ellie's just reaction. Just Ellie's
Yeah.
just her mind being completely blown, and them going on this very very wholesome adventure. The only thing I'm sad that we didn't get is a water gun fight because in the game they have a water gun fight.
Ellie's thought that was her gift. She's one of the things she said was squirt gun when
Yeah,
she was
did you
trying to
get me
guess
a
what her
water
gift
gun?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
made reference to it, but yeah.
Okay. That's good. The
Made me sad.
we
I lost a few times.
I think they hit like I don't know how much they did the like kind of two kids who weren't sure how the other feels about him kind of thing. I don't know how well that was conveyed in the game, but I thought that was
The
like
tension?
a very genuine, yeah, like
Mm.
two nervous kids with the person they like, on a date that they're not comfortable calling a date.
Mm.
That was cool.
Especially when you add like just the whole aspect of like the queer codedness to it, like figuring out like okay, like does this person go that
Yeah,
way? You know, I
yeah.
wouldn't know. I've never experienced that myself, but I can imagine for someone who is like that, there's also the extra layer of anxiety. It's like, oh God, like what if I make this awkward? You
Mm-hmm.
know? But
Yeah,
I get
you're
similar
right.
vibes in from Left Behind as well. But I thought it was handled like really well. I was literally just waiting for like, come on guys, like come on, listen, just kiss already. Come on, what are you waiting for?
Thought
You
that
know?
was it was great, and then oh yeah, they wait until about 10 seconds before it all goes to shit too.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
that's exactly the way this show has gone so far. As
Never
like,
expect anything good to happen.
no, good things happen, but they just happen right before really bad things.
Oh yeah, always right before.
There's plenty of beautiful things and wonderful things, and then it's just like, also, give me your heart. Yeah, mine. Ruthless, the whole thing.
Absolutely. I loved the visceral conversation they have when Elliot discovers the pipe bombs, and
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what was going through your head at that point, especially since she's trained to become a soldier, and she's like, okay, you're gonna blow people like me up, huh? I
Yeah.
almost get the sense that first of all, Riley, even though obviously the FEDRA guys are totalitarian, I get the sense that Riley also kind of didn't really know what she was getting into with the Fireflies. Because Marlene, since especially if it's true, like she said, Marlene just saw her sneaking around. I was like, "Hey, kid, you want to join our group?" Just because he can sneak well. You know what I mean? It just seems interesting to see the Fireflies' own like way of like indoctrinating like young
Hmm.
kids. Because I
Yeah.
mean, these guys aren't pretty perfect too. I mean, you remember the first episode? There's a car bomb that nearly kills Tess.
I was wondering about, the logic behind that, watching Riley sneak around. But we do know that they have eyes on Ellie, so maybe they are watching
Mhm.
the FEDRA school and they know that Riley's about to turn 17 and get her assignment, and then she's obviously
Yep.
run away, so I
Mhm.
guess they're kind of like, "Hey, come join our side since you don't have anywhere else to go."
I was gonna
Mhm.
say that's probably a reliable like recruitment pipeline. Is
Mhm.
kids who are bailing on their assignment essentially.
Yeah.
It seems like you would be able to count on a lot of kids who are running off, and then just sort of patrol there right around when those assignments come up or something. I don't know. Yeah, so that is like that's they're recruiting child soldiers basically. Like that's not great.
No.
I mean, there's like barely any of them, so I mean, who else are you gonna pick from? You know, I mean, they're when you're as desperate as they are.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just it's yeah, like you're saying, it's they're clearly not presented as or they're not perfect either, I guess.
No.
Mm.
Yeah. It's just yeah, I guess they had them, or you know, like conversations back and forth where they were kind of debating the whole FEDRA versus Firefly thing, like from the time Riley shows up to the end of the or
Mm,
well, most of the end of the episode anyway. They were kind of
mm.
having that conversation, kind of jokingly at first when you know she's talking about joining the Fireflies, but or well, not jokingly, but like
They're giving each other crap about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and then it yeah, it's like turns into this very serious, like you realize we're going to be on opposite sides of this thing
Yeah.
Right.
by the end. And that was all so well executed. And then, yeah, Ellie leaving, I get like her getting all mad at the end of it and walking out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have stopped probably. And so that was cool to see her just like, no, oh my gosh.
Yeah, don't.
Last night, I'm not going to let this be a shitty, like, this can't be the last time I see her. It can't be
Yeah.
like this. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that got me as well.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Riley, there is one change. It's very minor, but I don't get it. And that is making Riley a year older than Ellie, like or 2 years, because in the game, Riley's 15, like turning 16. And for some reason in the show, they made her 16 turning 17, and I guess it just feels weird to have her be that much almost older than Ellie's still 14. Is it just me?
I thought that was, yeah, no, I
I
agree.
guess I didn't like put the numbers together when I was thinking about it, like, or you know, like and think about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that starts to feel weird, I guess.
No, that's what I mean. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's
Yeah,
just like when the game, like 14, 15, it's still a year apart, right? So yeah, they
I
look about the
mean,
same age. But I mean, in here, like there's still like a solid difference between somebody who's 17 and someone who's like
14,
14,
yeah.
especially going high school wise. I mean, sure, like maybe this is like just being too weird for me. Maybe just being a prude, but like I don't know, just feels weird. Maybe they saw Storm didn't pass for a 14-year-old, I guess, or 15-year-old.
I assume they did it because she says you get your assignment at 17, so they needed a reason for her to leave. I don't know, but
I was gonna
Uh,
guess that yeah, if maybe there wasn't a reason for her to go out and join
yeah.
Firefly at that point, then maybe that's the like logic behind it, but it seems
hmm.
like unless that was already established at a certain age, you could have just like, you know,
Yeah.
made it whatever age, like they get it at 16 or something. I didn't think about it, but considering it now, it's like I don't know what I don't know. They're both minors.
It's not super problematic, but it's still,
Yeah,
eh,
I mean,
like there's really no reason, in
yeah.
my opinion.
if I had a 14-year-old kid, I would not let them date a 17-year-old. So it's
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. It's not,
be like,
not ideal.
wait a
yeah.
couple more years.
It's like that person turns 18 in at most a year, man. That's a no go for me. But it's whatever. It's
Yeah,
whatever. It's not.
it's a TV show.
She's 16 turning 17, so she's not like. Yeah, it seems like she's 15 in the game. I just didn't see why they made her a bit older,
Older.
but it's whatever. Uh, I love I think one of my favorite things that I thought was really cute was the little photo booth, because they do that in the game as well. The cute pictures,
Okay.
and some of the poses were like straight from the game.
Nice. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's just so cute. This episode is, if you cut off the last like 15 minutes, it's very cute, and and just
Yeah.
ignore the tension.
They kiss and then just stop the episode. The episode's over.
You gotta,
Yes,
I feel like you gotta skip the first like 5 to 7 as well, but
yeah.
then it's just like, yeah, this is like, could have
Mm,
been a rom-com.
right. It's like oh my god, there's this one rom-com about this like zombie who like meets a human like girl, and he like basically with the romance like fall like becomes like a human again. I forget what
Warm
it's called, but
Bodies.
like yes,
Okay,
Warm
Yeah.
Bodies.
this
It's like
sounds vaguely familiar. I can't
That's an
place it.
excellent movie.
yes, I was like, I need stuff. I need a rom-com like that in a post-apocalyptic setting. And so far, the happiest I've got is the couple killing themselves at the end after their long life.
Yeah,
You knew what kind
yeah.
of show you were getting into.
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
quite appreciate it. I don't think. I think I
Right.
get it now, though. Like I've said, I have no further hope of a happy ending. Confident. Oh, we were talking about other movies, and that made me think of you guys had talked about the like Twilight movie poster.
Dawn of the Wolf.
And we
Yeah!
saw that
Yeah.
in the mall.
I didn't expect them to do that, but they did, and it made me so happy.
Yeah.
I was cracking up.
Yeah.
Super funny. I don't know. You guys mentioned it, and then I saw it. I was like, it's the blood moon or whatever.
One day we gotta have Neil Druckmann and the team write a fake trailer for Dawn of the Wolf. It's just like so obnoxiously early 2000s.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Evanescence in the background, maybe a little Linkin Park. You know, like, listen, it's 2003, so they got some, like, anime music videos in. But, like, so there's the prime edge is still there. But, oh, I was gonna say, I saw some people had, by some I mean a very small amount of people, had an issue with the Mortal Kombat montage.
What?
And they thought,
I looked
because
this
they
up.
thought, yeah, because they thought they was like, oh, it's just like one long like Mortal Kombat advertisement. I'm like, so
Oh,
it's Mortal Kombat. It's
I
fucking
thought you were
awesome.
gonna talk about the fatality combinations thing.
Was it? Oh,
The buttons that she pushes to do the Melina fatality.
is it not the same button?
Are they wrong?
People have argued, or at least there was a thought for a bit that it was only you like hold high kick to do that one, or high
Yeah.
punch or something, and so and she hits like 4 buttons. I thought it sounded like she was hitting the joystick 3 times and then hitting a button the first time. So I was like, no, it's the first one. But I don't actually know Mortal Kombat.
I don't know what the combinations are.
I think it was the same. I think some people just had an issue of how long they were playing Mortal Kombat. And I'm just
No.
like, listen,
That's
dude,
important.
it's Mortal Kombat. Like, so if you remember, so Neil Druckmann talked about this. You probably heard this earlier on. Neil was like, so in the game, we had an arcade cabinet that Ellie liked that was heavily Mortal Kombat inspired, but we couldn't, put Mortal Kombat in there. But since HBO is under Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers
Oh my
owns
God, of
NetherRealm
course.
Studios, they're like, now we can actually put in Mortal Kombat in the arcade machine.
Which was excellent and
The,
wonderful.
the power of monopolies.
Oh man, the whole arcade scene. Her Ellie's like the picture or the like reaction shot of her there. It was like that was awesome. It was like so well
It's the most
done.
beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Right?
The awe. And then
Yeah.
like the shot behind them just looking into it while they're just standing there for a second too. It was like a lot of cool shots. You were talking about it, Aiden. The mall was
Yeah.
just like pretty in like an
Yeah.
abandoned building way, I guess. I don't know.
Right, and then like the cut turn to the hallway, and hear the echoes of the kids playing, and then it
American
follows
Girl
this
doll
creepy
store.
doll, and you see this
Ah.
fucking stalker imbued into the wall. You're just like, oh man, you can't have shit. The Last of Us.
Gotta be the doll store, obviously.
Yeah, why the doll store?
Yeah, the most unreasonable part of this episode is that there was someone in the doll store.
Right, right. So, and Eric, so the
Mhm.
way they get bit in the game is far more dramatic than how they get bit in the show, most because there's just a lot more
Okay.
cordyceps fungus zombies.
They get swarmed.
Yeah, they get swarmed, but in this show, it's just one.
I liked this a lot, actually.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a game, so they gotta like up the tension and all that, which I think is kind of just like the main the main difference between this show and the game is just that the show is just like it's just all the cutscenes, all the cutscenes, which I think is kind of what makes this video game adaptation work because the game is so narratively structured. The
Yeah.
big issue with a lot of video game to TV and movie products is that a big aspect of it is the interactive nature of it because video games are an interactive medium, right? Nothing happens
Right.
unless you push a button or move a joystick, right? It's not like reading a book, you just use your eyes and all that stuff, or watch a movie, you just see people do stuff. Like a lot of it is the immersiveness of that, and then when you take that out,
What do you do?
it's just a lot of the appeal is it's like watching someone do it is totally different from the being able to do it yourself. You know what I mean? Even though you are like pressing, I mean, you're not like climbing over a wall or shooting a guy, right? But you're still pressing buttons to make the person do it. And when that's removed, it's just, it removes an element of immersion. Sorry for the preamble. I thought I would word it better, but the point is, I think what makes this work is just the sense of The Last of Us already being like a decent mix between those two mediums, and they were just like we can't do gameplay because I mean every other hour would be Joel in a shootout and that would get boring, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, The Last of Us was already a very cinematic game,
Yeah,
just on its own. And that was, my husband was talking to one of his friends in a D&D group about, like, yeah, the TV show's really good. And they were like, well, of course it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many cutscenes in that game.
I was gonna say,
Right?
yeah.
it's just like the game's already a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what they're like. It's already.
A lot
It's
of
already
games
movie.
that don't translate well. It seems like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the core component is the gameplay itself, and so when you remove that, all that's left is a story that was really just there as a vehicle to get you through the button pushing element, or to justify the gameplay.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that it's harder to do that with games that aren't written probably so well.
It's interesting considering Naughty Dog's first attempt at bringing one of their games to movies. Have any of you seen the Uncharted movie?
Yes.
It's mediocre at best.
I believe
it's
that.
mediocre, and
Yeah.
I'm a huge Uncharted fan, and I was really disappointed with how mediocre it was.
I feel like mediocre is a solid job for a video game movie.
Well,
It wasn't
yeah.
bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah. It wasn't
Yeah.
great.
I didn't not like it.
That's it. Yeah, it takes a certain.
But I as someone who's a huge, I love the Uncharted games. I just felt like I'd rather just be playing the games. Like I could watch like Uncharted 4 and just be like the cutscenes of that game alone are like so movie like. Which funnily enough, I mean they're all movie like that game I think is the only one that Neil Druckmann directed himself. So but the point is this is a lot better.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. And I'm really thankful to see just like how the Last of Us game kind of brought in a new like have made studios realize that we have the technology to create these super cinematic story driven games. I'm really glad that the show is able to do the same thing in terms of like, hey guys, this is how you do an amazing video game adaptation. And I'm just excited to see other shows try to live up to this one. And I think with every single episode of the show, I'm just like, this is like, I'm gonna watch this 10 years from now and still think this is amazing. You know, that's just how I feel. Like I feel the same way I feel about The Sopranos and The Wire. And I know it's saying a lot.
I think
I know it's saying a lot.
it'll depend a lot on how it ends. It seems like to me, or at least like how it continues to move forward. But if they can keep this up, I definitely think it's going to be talked about in the same way as stuff like The Wire and whatnot. Best stuff that HBO's put out.
Absolutely. Just like greatest stuff in general. But yeah,
Mhm.
just to reorientate back to the episode.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I know that. So like, I haven't seen the Halo thing.
Don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I've heard it's awful. Although somehow it got renewed for a second season. I also heard. I don't know. But
Hate watching.
like, okay. The first game, and even the second game, I didn't play the third one. No, Halo's not as cinematic as The Last of Us.
Of course.
But it's not like there's not a story there.
I think yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, I don't understand, like, The Last of Us is kind of, you could say it's easy because it's already a movie. But
Yeah.
I also don't see why you can't apply the same principles to, like, Halo and actually make a TV show that's true to the lore and the story path that already exists. Like,
See, the issue with Halo is that the writers of the show talked ad nauseum about how they never played the games, and some of them made fun of the games.
no. Okay. All right. There we go.
You're losing your core audience just there. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? It's like when you have writers. In fact, the only person who talked about playing the games was the guy who played Master Chief himself.
Why would
Like-
you hire people to adapt a game that don't care about the game? Why would you do that?
It's the same problem that's going on with The Witcher right now. It's like
I'm so
people
mad
don't-
about
if-
that.
Right? It's like why would you make fun of the source material that you're trying like not even make fun in like a lighthearted sense, but like oh yeah, this sucks. What can do better? It's like why are you adapting it then?
Why are you
Like, are there
here?
money-
That's why. It's just that. It's the money thing.
Right? It helps with The Last of Us that the director of the game or one of the co-directors of the game is writing the script as well. So that definitely helps.
Neil's on the game. You brought back the people who did the music. You brought back makeup artists. Like, you brought back the voice actors and gave them cameos. Like, there's so many people who worked on the game are involved in the TV show, and so many people who love the game are involved in the TV show. And I guess that's what makes all the difference.
Seems to be the secret sauce, and that's how you keep your core, your hardcore fan base, I think, invested either way. They like the game enough that they're like, well, this is basically a Naughty Dog thing now, so I want to help, Neil Druckmann too, or whatever. You know what I mean? You're going to get people who are more invested in it.
Yeah.
Beyond its own, beyond it as just a TV show, as well, and then make a better product too. I think if you have people who really care for what they're working with.
It's crazy to think that the best video game movie in the last 20 years are the Sonic movies. Unironically, the Sonic movies.
I haven't seen
I'm
those
trying
either.
to think what all falls into that, but I probably don't have a great argument.
Detective Pikachu was good.
Oh, right.
Is that a video game?
Right.
Was that a video game? Okay.
Pokemon was the game first. I always forget.
No, but like Detective
Pokemon was a game first, I'm pretty sure.
As far as I'm aware, he doesn't solve any crimes in those games.
Those are games. Detective Pikachu game.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but I've been told they're really bad.
There's a Detective Pikachu game that released in 2016 that got an 8.2 on IGN, or that came out like after the movie.
I have no idea.
Like, yeah, it came out a few years before. So
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know who
but-
I was talking to.
Pokemon and Sonic, but beat a lot of Resident Evil movies. Prince of Persia.
I liked that movie.
Really?
Everybody hated it. I thought it was really good.
I haven't seen it in forever.
I wouldn't either. That wasn't like a series I had any investment in, though, so it wasn't like.
Oh, 2 Hitman movies. They're both really bad.
I was gonna say I haven't even heard of those.
Yeah, Timothy Oliphant plays 47 in the first one, which is crazy. He said that he only took the role so he could buy a house.
Well,
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I love the honesty. And then, oh my god, the Assassin's Creed movie. I forgot that thing happened.
there was an Assassin's Creed movie?
Yeah, Michael Fassbender.
I no. This doesn't.
Jeremy Irons was in it.
That obviously was a great success. Oh, jeez.
Right? Yeah, obviously it's a great success. Spoiler alert, by the way, Jeremy Irons played the bad guy.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Right.
Anyway, let's jump back to the episode now that we've thoroughly derailed
Oh
ourselves.
my gosh. So that opening sequence was kind of cool to see. I laughed when the horse shook his, he's like standing in the garage and just like shook snow off his fur. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it was cool to see that opening sequence there of like how far Ellie had to drag Joel basically to get him there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
And there's a trail of blood the whole friggin' way.
Yeah. Mm.
Bad day.
In the game in Left Behind, it kind of flashes back and forth between Ellie getting medicine for Joel and the flashback stuff with Riley and Ellie. So I think obviously it makes a lot more sense because the medicine sections with Ellie are a lot more gameplay oriented, while Riley and Ellie were more narratives, right? It makes total sense. They're just like, all right, let's just do the Ellie and Riley stuff for like 90% of the episode.
Yeah. There's really no reason to
drag it out.
Yeah, it's just gameplay. That's all. It's a video game. We gotta throw it in here stuff.
And I think there's some about that in the post episode thing, but like setting up that comparison between the like decision, Joel's like telling her to leave him because he's, there's no hope kind of thing. He's set that up in comparison to, I guess, what's going on with her and Riley is kind of, it's a similar decision that they're making at the end. I guess I don't know. I don't know if they did the same thing in the game to set those two up. But that moment where she's about to open the door, and then that's when the flashback happens, and then we jump back, and she's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm like gonna do something to help him, or like I'm gonna go find something to sew up, or help with the wound situation." Yeah, I don't know. I thought that seems like the more you stretch that out, the less effective that is, I guess.
It can. Yeah, for sure. And especially if you take into account, like last week, I mean, she has the whole argument where she's like, everyone's who's ever been with me has died or left me, and she's not gonna have that happen to Joel because, well, shocker, she's also like, man, I really like this guy, so. I can only imagine what's going through her head. Just like, I mean, imagine losing all the people she's lost, and she just sees this guy who's like, "No, please leave me, like go," and she's like, "Fuck you,
yeah,
I'm saving you."
Yeah, it's like Joel's.
Yeah,
she can't do this without him.
But Joel's like, "I've already failed you. You can't. It can't get worse for you because I screwed up. I feel like," and so he's like, "No, you like." He's trying to be a hero still here.
Well, I think he also believes that he's dying and like this is the end of it, and
you're right.
This is like the end of the road, and that's why he's like, go back and get Tommy.
It's like Bill and Frank when Bill gets shot. Bill's like, I'm dead, I'm dying.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
you've got to go find the person who can be your protector now, and they're like, no, we're gonna sort this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good connection to make. I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
I didn't. I'm not gonna trade you for someone else.
Yeah, like I think like you were saying, Riley's line about 2 minutes or 2 days or whatever. I think that's even if it only gets her a few more hours, with Joel, she's willing to take that risk essentially, whatever that means. I don't think that it's necessarily presented as any like pressing imminent danger, but like I suppose the like preview of the next episode suggests that there is one that's coming anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so stoked for that episode. Also, I'm really glad that my prediction was wrong about FEDRA swooping in and saving. This is so much better. Oh man, so good. Yeah, Ellie just like, nah, I got this. We'll be fine. Find some old freaking thread.
in the game, so the gameplay in the game takes place in an actual mall, so it parallels what's happening with Riley and Ellie, but it's a completely different mall.
Oh.
And Ellie Ellie is searching the mall for first aid kits. And she actually finds a first aid kit with a surgeon's needle and thread in there, which would actually be better using than normal needle and thread, but
that shit is infected AF.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, you take the win now, but you need antibiotics and stuff. Like, that's now an immediate concern. Joel is staved off the Reaper for a short period, maybe.
Fun fact that I learned, the curved needle that they use for stitches is actually bladed at the point, because it's actually difficult to get through human skin, and so there's a blade on there to make it easier to get through. So
I did, yeah,
I'm just pointing that out.
I know that, like leather needles are different from but sewing needles are definitely not going to be like your suture needles, but it seems like it'd be closer to leather than cloth, I guess, when you're trying to go through skin. And
the needle Ellie's using is not ideal. But again,
it's probably quite unpleasant for Joel.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, and especially since one thing I thought was funny, pretty much in the whole section, and when he's incapacitated, he's unconscious, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But literally just unconscious and shaking, but poor Pedro Pascal Joel is awake for all of it.
Well,
poor guy.
Or
most of it.
We don't see Ellie stitch him up. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it is implied he's just passed out the whole time.
It's funny that we talked about how the week of Pedro Pascal, but Pedro's not in this episode that much.
No,
he's really not.
No, this is Ellie's episode.
Oh yeah, this is Ellie's episode, just like it was for Left Behind. Which I mean, I know we talked this a while ago, but I honestly think the story of Left Behind, I feel like it's so weird to have a story almost that integral just be DLC, and it's weird that the remake has it separate and is just folded into the game. But I don't know. But oh man, you know what's even crazy? When this show with attempted detail from the game, they get bit in the exact same spots they do in the game. Riley on the area between her finger and her thumb, she gets bit the exact same way, same spot, in the game.
Yeah, I appreciated that attention to detail. It's yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And Ellie destroying the glass in anger is also straight from the game, which, not gonna lie, in the game I was sad and also oh, don't worry, you're immune, and laughing in the back of my head. But in the show I'm oh man, now I'm just sad.
It's she asks, what's option 3? And I'm always you're not gonna like option 3.
You're not gonna like it.
Option 3
you're really not.
First 6
option
episodes.
3 is you're immune.
Yeah. Right?
It's not ideal.
You know what's crazy?
No.
Right? It's funny. It was funny. It's sad because just imagining that Ellie actually, where she was bit, she probably would have turned sooner than Riley.
Yeah, because hers was further up the arm.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So now when I played it, and for this show, I have the horrible mental image of Ellie killing an infected Riley, and now I'm sad again.
But we don't exactly know what happened there. I was gonna say that.
That's my headcanon.
What are the bets that Riley's still alive and is also immune, and the cure was that booze or something?
No.
I'm gonna have to put put $40. I'm gonna have to put $40 on no on
okay.
that.
I'll add to that.
Yeah. You want to put some money?
Yeah, I'll put money on that.
Yeah.
There's that line, the episode where she shoots the kid that's trying to kill Joel, and she tells Joel, "It wasn't my first time." my assumption was that she meant Riley.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Even they don't show it. It's probably good that they don't show it, but that is what I think she meant.
She did kill the one that is attacking both of them already too, though.
But it was Joel was, I think, specifically talking about hurting people, and
You're
Riley
right, yeah. Okay.
would have been infected, but I think she still would have saw it as Riley.
That makes sense. But I was gonna say, because they were just like talking about how that was the whole conclusion. It's like, we don't give up.
Yeah, it would definitely break that, powerful message if they showed us eventually turning and then having to end things.
Listen, Sam was already enough. Sam was enough.
Yeah, Sam was enough.
Yeah.
We didn't need Sam.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Right?
I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
It's like there is such a thing as too much. It's like at a certain point, it's like this is just like, because the thing about The Last of Us, like, yeah, sure, it's depressing, but like Ellie's immunity is like the big old hope that keeps people going. And I think to a certain point, I'm just like, dude, like this is just like it's crushing me. But, there probably are some people who are just like who wouldn't mind just to wallow in the sadness. Man, I'm not one of those people. I cry easily.
I don't know. I don't think I do, but I think this show is going to get most people every once in a while for sure.
The litmus test is showing someone episode 3 and if they don't cry, you just don't associate with them.
I'm trying to think, but I feel like there are going to be elements of various episodes that will like hit in a way that aligns with people's own trauma, I suppose. So it's just hard for me to. It seems like anybody could pick any of the episodes and say that one's the one that got me the worst, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
You were right about this episode getting review bombed, Aiden.
Was it?
Oh God, I saw.
Is it as bad as or worse than 3? Is it the same?
It's currently the lowest rated episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I expect those numbers will go back up, because the same thing happened with 3. It got review bombed, and then it kind of started swinging back the other way. I was hoping most angry people would have just gone away, but apparently not.
Whole YouTube outrage economy.
Right. I imagine they heard of it and they're like, "Wow, this is outrageous," and they decide to go on HBO and then watch the episode and then get upset and then review it, or even they just didn't review it. They just didn't watch it at all. They just reviewed it and there's like woke garbage exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Yeah, it's dumb. It's just like it doesn't even it requires attention in the sense that like this is something that definitely happens, but every single time I hear about it, I'm just like, dude, I don't care about these people who have nothing better to do in their lives than downvote a TV episode or whatever, just because it just has queer people existing, or just anyone that isn't them.
Yeah.
Is dumb.
There were when I was digging through the 1-star reviews just to see, and I was kind of surprised that there were a decent amount of people that like didn't like the episode because it wasn't action packed. They felt like the episode was filler, and I was like,
wait, what?
I was like, this episode is important. They're like, nothing happened in this episode.
Wait,
hold on a second. Not action packed.
The same crowd. Media literacy's so fucking good.
Eric's like, they're the same people.
No,
they're just disguising themselves.
I don't want to put a 1-star review because that says I don't like gay people. It's gonna be, it was boring.
Fair.
Okay, how about last episode where they're on a farm or place for most of it?
No, I'm not saying it's a good
right?
faith critique. It's just plausible deniability for the real reason that you're leaving a 1-star review.
That's fair. We can move on from reviews. What were you gonna say?
Get upset.
I was gonna say, regardless of stupid opinions, I really like this episode, and I am so beyond excited for next episode.
This episode was so good, and I loved the preview for next episode. The guy who's playing the
James, his second hand.
well, I was thinking of the guy that hasn't been named yet, but his voice sounds so similar to the game, and I was very happy.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
He has a
I know what you're
very
talking about.
he has a very distinct swarmy kind of voice. I was just very thrilled to hear it.
You're talking about the character played by Nolan North in the game, right?
Yes, that character.
Yeah, which Nolan did such a great job for that, so I can only imagine what this guy's gonna do. And especially since this is where we fucking see Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Troy Baker is the guy who played Joel in the game.
Oh, okay.
Eric.
Cool.
Yeah. Did you watch the next episode
I did.
previews? The guy with the beanie.
I don't think I remember.
That's all right.
Who that is.
You'll know
I
who
was
it
gonna
is
say.
after the
You'll
episode.
know who it is.
I'll know for next
Yeah,
time.
you'll know. You'll know.
I was kind of expecting we would get the Ashley Johnson cameo earlier, but I guess that's happening for the final episode. I'm going to assume that they're saving it for that.
Oh man, that'll be a great episode to do it. And another thing that we haven't got in a bit, we haven't had a cold open in a while.
Mm-mm.
Maybe that's not the end of it, but I was surprised because I like those.
I thought it was cool too.
But they don't have to do them every time.
I'm wondering if they just weren't trying to use them to explain the cordyceps thing and then just kind of backed off from it, basically. Just like, no, it's so we can set up the premise and talk about the outbreak, and then it's done, or something to that effect. I'm not sure.
Yeah, less is more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if we at this point we're getting so late. I don't know that there's more that they need to explain. We can just continue on with the story we have.
Right. And then they're willing to sort of jump from, it was close to what they did in the Bill and Frank episode, but not exactly the same kind of bookended structure or whatever.
Yeah, it was very similar.
Close, but
a tragic. Actually, not even tragic, because Bill and Frank had like a full life basically, but just a beautiful love story.
I guess I was getting more at the like beginning bits and end bit where checked in with Joel and Ellie, and then the middle is like the sideline.
You're right.
It wasn't quite dead on that split, but they, because at the end it's sort of feathering back and forth a couple different times, but it was still that basic premise. So they're willing to do that within an episode. It seems like whatever else they need to accomplish, they should be able to make happen like that.
No, that makes sense.
So one of the weird little detail things is, are you guys familiar with the 7-Eleven incident that Riley's talking about when they break out?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
No, they're talking about it, and Ellie's like, no, thanks, I'd like to keep my other eyebrow the way it is, or something to that effect. Like, that's where she got her scar, basically.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that was something we saw, or you guys saw, I guess.
So, obviously, that's going to be the plot for The Last of Us Part 3, so we have to wait for that.
It's the sequel, prequel.
The Last of Us Part 7.
I wish for that.
It'll be the DLC for the TV.
I'll pay for the season pass.
HBO really wants that Last of Us money. We're milking this shit. Right. Were you gonna say, Liara?
No, I was just in the game. We don't get any explanation for Ellie's eyebrow scar, so it was so that was something they just kind of like stuck in there for the show to try and give us some sort of explanation.
It was fun. I was just curious. It seemed like one of those things where they might be doing a nod to the game, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I rate this episode a solid 7.5 crying Aidens out of 10. I was really sad, but not sad enough to be bawling like I was with episode 1 and episode 3. But I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
At least one more.
What are you expecting to ball at?
Joel's incipient demise, obviously.
And in the game, the scene after the thing with Ellie and the fire always gets me a good tear.
Okay. That might hit.
Yeah.
That might hit.
Oh yeah.
I will say the game ending, the way that they do the music is that always gets me. So if they put the same music in there, that might get me.
The same guy does the music.
I know.
And Gustavo, I think.
But they don't always put the same music with the same scenes. So that's all.
Right.
Yeah, the same beats. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, do you guys see it says, did we see the first of the Will Livingston pun books in the game? Was that something that they connected to in the DLC?
Yeah, so in the DLC, Riley gives her the pun book as well.
Oh, so I guess the first copy, she had it in no pun intended or whatever was the title.
Volume 2.
Yeah, that was the one she gave her in the mall, but in her dorm or whatever, the FEDRA room, she had the first one.
You gotta know if there's a volume 3, it's volume 3. I don't know if they were made that far before the world fucking ended.
You never know. Those books are probably old, so I'm sure.
I was really happy we got Take On Me in this episode. That was so great. I was
cracking up. If there was the tape she had on there, it was like an aha, greatest hits cassette sitting on the desk before, I guess when Riley's taking the Walkman probably, but she's pawing through the cassettes and the top one's aha. And actually the bottom one's the same cassette. It is the one that she plays later on, the song with I Got You or whatever. It's Etta James or something. I think I went through and looked at that because I was trying to.
The I Got You is the same. They use that song in the game as well at the same place.
Oh, nice. Oh my gosh.
Take On Me is used in the second game, and they put it here in the episode, and I was like, yes, this is perfect. It goes here.
Yeah, there's a beautiful rendition of Take On Me in part 2, and it's so good. I played through that part yesterday, and it was so good.
On the freaking electric stairs, which was that whole scene was hilarious. Actually, the electric stairs, and she's just, what? No, it's escalator. And the first wonder, oh my god. And she's like, sure, yeah, okay, this is the first wonder.
Right.
It's just great. It was super funny.
Such a good episode.
Made Ellie feel like that. Yeah, it's that comparison between the two characters. Riley knows more. And that was one of those things. It's why does she have so much of a better grasp on the world, the past world? Is it because she had a family? Do you guys think?
It's possible, yeah. That's what I was wondering.
Probably,
2 years or 3 years, however much older she is, doesn't seem like it makes a super significant difference in the scale. She's still post, outbreak, it seems like.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, guys, I'm emotionally preparing for these next few episodes. Literally every single time. I'm at a point now in which every single time I go on HBO Max and I go to the episode, I have to no, I'm serious. I have to mentally prepare myself. And I didn't. It's just ugh,
This is probably the only show that I've never skipped the intro watching because that music is just so iconic.
It's really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't either usually. I don't even usually skip the recap, honestly. It's all well put together.
Yeah, I don't skip the intro either, mostly because it's a really damn beautiful intro.
Yeah, it's just it's cool to look at.
My prediction for next episode is that somebody might die, probably.
I think. Oh my god! I wanted to ask if you guys had seen It's not really related. It's more related to the next episode. But have you guys seen The Blacklist, either of you?
The Blacklist?
My dad loves that show.
There's an episode that the next episode reminds me of where God, what's her name? I can't remember the name of the Elizabeth Keene. The
I think
lead,
so. The lady that is it the lady that James Spader's character always interacts with?
Not Raymond Reddington, but the quote unquote main character. She is, I think she left the series or whatever. Doesn't matter. She's in a cabin and holds up, and it's like has to defend the cabin. There isn't like somebody else there that she has to keep safe, I don't think. But I'm stoked for the whole, like, her just, I don't know, going Liam Neeson on some folks here. This should be fun.
Oh my god, yeah. One thing that I'm excited for is that, okay, so every episode so far has been at the very least, like, obviously spooky and all that. But this section of the game has always been uncomfortable, and it's because of one character in particular. Liara knows what I'm talking about. Yes, and it's like makes my skin crawl, but like in the oh my god, this performance is so good, but this character is like nails on a chalkboard every single time they speak.
Really excited to see him. So
yeah. So what were you gonna say, Liara?
So we have the scene with Ellie, and she finds the pipe bombs, and she confronts Riley about it. And the question that I have, because we know that Marlene wanted Ellie to stay in the military school because she's safe there. And I've always kind of wondered, like, what happens when Ellie turns 17? Because I get that she's safe there now, but if they let her grow up and be a soldier, then she's going to be fighting the Fireflies anyway. So that's obviously not safe. Is Marlene gonna recruit her then into the Fireflies? Because Riley's like, yeah, I asked her to join. She said no. And I'm like, does Marlene just want her to spend as much time in the school as she can, and then Marlene will take her? Like, what's the plan? What is the plan here? They're just,
I'm assuming it's like, I don't know, because my first thought process is like maybe she wants her to like go through school and get the necessary training or something, whatever the heck, and then like hit her up. But at the same time, though, yeah, it doesn't really make any logical sense. I wonder if that's something that we'll find out.
I got a theory.
Like in a flashback or something, but
just cobbled it together. But if Marlene, so maybe Marlene recruits Riley with the intention of using the ability to get back in contact with Riley as leverage on Ellie later, like whether or not she wants to get out of Firefly or out of FEDRA, she could then say, well, come join us. You can, see Riley again, and then you can get her to leave when she's 17, and then you don't have to worry about keeping a kid safe in the interim. I'm not sure though.
What's interesting to me, there's a comic book called American Dreams that takes place before the video game, and it explains how Riley and Ellie first meet. And in the comic book, Riley, like even really young, tries to run off and join the Fireflies, and they find Marlene, and Marlene is like just like lays into them that they're just kids and they don't know like the horrors of what really goes on with FEDRA and the Fireflies fighting each other, and she just sends them back home. But that's how Ellie gets her knife. And I don't know I don't know how canon that is, because it seems to conflict with some things. But it's interesting if before Marlene's like, no. But then when Riley gets a little older, I guess it's like, well, you're going to be fighting one way or the other. It might as well be on our side. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've scratched my head over Marlene's logic when it comes to protecting children. So
I don't know that I can totally figure out what the strat was there, but complicated system for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do.
Yeah. I've never been in charge of an organization trying to take down the government while also trying to like maybe possibly take in like a special child. So I will say
That's
I
true.
can't relate.
That's true. She probably has a lot on her plate. She's like, just go over here.
Yeah, like they can raise the kid until
Yeah.
But she wouldn't. How does she know that she's immune before the incident in the mall?
She doesn't.
Okay.
That's true.
So then that's
Yeah,
probably
that's
how they
true.
got to get linked up. Like Marlene's going to come and check out the mall and find that like Riley's no longer occupying her post or whatever, I guess.
Oh yeah, that would work. I always assumed that Ellie went and found Marlene because I assume that things play out the way that they inevitably have to play
Right.
out, and then Ellie's like, I don't know where to go or who to turn to, and goes to. I always assumed it was that, but it would totally make sense if they show up to take Riley to her post.
Yeah.
And it's just Ellie. That is sad.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
that.
And
No.
they're like, oh my God, she's got a bite mark and so on. Like it seems like that would work anyway.
Yeah.
Minor thing too. It's hilarious that they were like trading jokes, and then it's like, what do you call an alligator in a vest? Was the like setup that Ellie or Riley gave to Ellie while she's going to find the pipe bombs, and it's investigator
I didn't
is
catch
the
that.
punchline.
Yeah.
And she's like searching around. I don't know. That's probably one of those things that I'm drawing a
funny.
connection to that isn't, but it's just
I
like,
mean, they gotta pick some pun to throw in there. I'm sure that's not coincidence.
right? I was laughing because I don't know. And then this not getting the screenshot joke was also funny. It was a nice little.
I liked that.
I actually don't get that
It's like,
either.
oh no, poor kids. That'd be so funny if they got it.
Nah, it's not really. About as good as the rest of them, though. So they
Hey,
liked them. It
hey,
would have been fine.
Hey, I'm sorry. Are you disrespecting Volume 2?
I'm saying that they are all of roughly equivalent
Oh my
caliber.
God,
All the jokes.
Leora, I think this man is disrespecting
It
the
said
pun.
no such
No.
thing. It said that I could have said that they're all the best possible imaginable joke. That's
No,
consistent with
they
what I
are
just
all
said.
amazing and equally
Right.
funny, and I shan't hear otherwise.
We're agreeing. We're on the same page.
No, you know what? Maybe we are, but I'm still shaking
That's
my
right.
fist.
Oh man, I liked that you could hear the music from the machine, from the Mortal Kombat machine before they come around the corner. It was like a shot. I was
Yeah.
like, I recognized it. I didn't place it as Mortal Kombat, but then when they put a coin in, I was like, that woof, oh my God, like the dong when took me back to being a wee lad. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, so good.
Ugh, arcades.
I'm a huge MK nerd, so I heard it and I was like, oh my God, this is Mortal Kombat, and yeah. Oh, Leora, do you want to make your announcement?
Yeah, so because life stuff,
Mhm.
we are going to basically be 2 weeks late. We will kind of sort of skip next episode, but then for the finale we will record and do a double episode discussing both of them. I might cut it up into 2 separate podcast episodes anyway. I don't know, it depends on how the conversation goes. But yeah, there's not going to be a podcast next week, and that we haven't gone away. We're just going to be late.
And by what she means by that is that we're going to do them live.
That's not how it works. You can't.
Well, I can't edit out my cat meowing in the
Right,
background if we
exactly.
do it live.
What do you mean? I want to be that one guy that types 45 72 45 27 minutes in cat. Just it's just lowercase kitty.
Kitty. I didn't realize people did that.
I would.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Yes.
Guest appearances, man. It's all right.